Fede, what's up? What's up, guys? All of those greetings. Hope you're going to Limnati. Vince SP, Vince on Visuals. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe. Press the subscription button and also press the bell icon so that you can get notified on the next videos that we'll be doing. Peace. God bless you. Maybe you as a guy, no horror shop and then drop your face. The lady was not earning that much as you were earning. Do you have measures where you say, okay, Sharp, we've spoken about this, just in case it might happen, then you are able to take center for now when we are still trying to balance our, we're still looking for a job. Yeah. Do you talk about such things to be ready in the contract, as you said?
We have to, in order for us to keep this going when circumstances beyond our control change, I think it's very crucial to say from the onset, we talk to say if things don't work out this way, what be the way? Yes. Because we have to understand one thing. We are not in control of some of the factors beyond us. Yes. If South Africa economy is challenged and people are being retrenched at work, the best that we can do is to understand that right now this is the situation we're going through. And if ever we are pulling to say this is the level we're going to pull, I'm hoping to get there, but I don't get there on that time. I think we as partners, we have to be lenient and understand, this person is trying. Because at some point you'll see that this person is trying to get me to that Lamborghini that he promised me, but unfortunately he's not there yet. At least he can go halfway and give me that Toyota Corolla. That is something. Somebody out there doesn't have that. So the most important thing is to talk and agree that we are for keeps, so we are not for keeps. Whatever that come may. Like we can agree that we're going to have 2 children together when we are married or when we commit, and you find that the child doesn't come because one of us has got some biological infirmity of giving birth. So what does that do? Does it mean that now because of the agreement that we had initially is not going on, we can't have 2 kids, I've got to break the deal? No, I'm not breaking the deal. I've got my word is my bond here. I've got to stay, and we agree that this is a commitment. It's not conditional. It's a commitment. So we move.
So for me, I missed point in Africa, but it's fine. I'll catch it up there. Yeah, no. Apologies on that. Yeah. Okay. Now for me, this thing. Look at if you take business for instance. In business, you have to measure your success. Whether you're making it or you're not making it. You have to plan. You have to prospect. This year, these are the customers that I'm going to target, and this is how much I need my business to do, and all of that. So, and you wanna review every quarter, to see if you've made it, how many customers you've made and stuff like that. So if it didn't work, obviously your strategy has to change somehow, and how you're going to sustain that business, for the next 5 years or so. It goes again into the relationship. Going back to communication, your future. How do I fit into your future, and how do you fit into my future as well, and stuff. And how do we plan going forward? How are we going to reach those goals and stuff like that. So we sit, after a while, and then we reassess what. I've been a reader 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. But so far we've managed to get it. Where did you go wrong? Okay. So it's important to reflect back and say, let's fix. Let's fix. Where we went wrong. Are we saving? Yeah. As a couple. And how much are we saving? You might have not. Okay. Let me just make this example with myself. You have a certain amount which runs the errands somewhere, and then you have a certain amount that you saving for something that you want as a couple. So you saving for something that you want as a person, and you saving for whatever rainy days that are good as a couple. You see, so those I think, like Gary said, now some of the situation, unfortunately, That's where you see the real colors of the person now.
Yeah,
Because of
yeah.
that, now poverty just went boom.
Yeah, boom on you guys.
Move a million and then
Montara nanga panol.
yeah. I don't know. I didn't sign up for this.
Ah, malala ko panol la bang you know, I don't know, but I mean, Nam didn't sign up for this. You said as a man, you said you will
provide.
You said you will provide.
provide.
So, no one give that guitar. Hello, rote, Tony. Mas we want bad. Evan, Tony o batla.
Yeah.
Tony o batla. Eh, so tabe so no.
Yeah.
Yeah, nanza mbatla le khali.
I think my input would be, as people we evolve. So we don't know a great one that you thought will be forever. Currently, so when you get into anything, personally from me, I have been a pre-counselor, married twice. There comes a point where Nali Vince Rajola, Rago University, we have no flipping clue of who we are, what we want in life. Like we don't really know ourselves. So then sometimes we bind ourselves to things that won't even serve us in the future. And to what he's saying, I like what you say. It's important to review as well. You know, when disaster hits as well, be honest with yourself. Because when I must stay because we are poor. This I did not sign up for. And then but societal pressure will make me stay because it's expected that through working ride or die. Cheap. But what if I'm really a first like I'm about money. Like I just don't do broke guys. So if you're gonna go broke, and maybe I didn't know that about myself, because there's also another part of me that has evolved. There's that darker part. I'm sure you as a life coach, there's your Harry window. There's the unknown of myself that even I do not know, and then it comes out.
To interject you, the first point you mentioned, understand yourself.
Yeah.
Don't agree to things you know you can't keep up with.
You
You understand that understanding yourself? I loved it so much because it's where you now know. For you know, as Africa is like naki kirata bana, kinyaka bana banchi. If you topalla kuira bana ma, kitotsa maya. Let's come knowing ourselves.
But however, what I'm saying is, at any given point of our evolution, there's a part of yourself that you do not know. That is what evolution is about. That's what growth is about. Right? That's why I came up with the point that there were people that you thought your friendships would last forever. You didn't fight, but you literally naturally separated. Obviously, it's not a marriage contract, it's not a relationship contract, so the terms are different. You can just separate. But what I'm saying, when you find disaster comes, there are things you can prepare for. There literally are things that, for example, I was in a car accident. The disasters come food down.
Or take a stroke.
Take a stroke, or I mean, disasters come in terms and sizes, and sometimes we really don't know until the situation is there how we are going to react. Or and then over we because you've been culturalized into Christian. Say you're a Christian and you know that it's one man, one woman. Only to find out in marriage that actually you are polygamist. That you really, that's your true standpoint. What then? That's another disaster. Or we find that you're gay in a marriage. It's another it's an issue. What do we do? Do I now force you to a contract to lose yourself? Because I'm now saying this is our contract, dude. Gay or not, polygamy or not, you're going to dishonor yourself to honor our agreement. So I'm gonna spend 30 years with you, unhappy, not liking our environment. What am I expecting in that space? Do you get what I mean? So it speaks also to self-sufficiency. It's painful. I'm not saying no, I'm gonna be like, no, it doesn't speak to me and I'm gonna go. It's gonna be painful as hell. But how to maneuver that, we will find out. We sometimes go but I'm saying at any point, as much as I honor my personal freedom and say I'm not gonna lose myself in a relationship, I must grant the next person the same honor.
Nice. We're about to wrap it up. A few last questions, then see Ivan. Sex. Is sex a deal breaker in the relationship or not? You get into a relationship, do you explain to a person that you are with, or hey, I want to be on top of this, you know, every day. you on the other hand, you like, I'm busy with paperwork, you know, paperwork away now. The next thing, then your person wants sex. How do you discuss issue of sex in the relationship? Is it a deal breaker?
Okay. Life is too boring for life is too short for boring sex. But then man, it's hard in fact. I don't think it's hard. So you can put sex before you do something more important in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like maybe you have to go to work in the morning and then arrive quick. Yeah. And you know M1 South you know M1 South here and then you see
it's a Monday.
So, yeah, Monday you go like first day of school, you know so and then you say no and then it becomes a problem.
It becomes a problem.
So I'm sure you'll have to know the person I'm dealing with.
Yes.
To handle such a situation.
Okay.
And then you have to be spontaneous. You cannot be Rojo. 9:30 every day, sir. So
good communication.
Sincerely, no, you know, the problems in marriage or in a relation, there are two.
Yeah.
It's money and sex. There are two problems. 80% of problems, they are bouncing between two, money and sex.
Yeah.
And then largely you can see that sex is the main contributor. And honestly speaking, people must agree on saying how we're gonna treat our sex life. You know, and sex, remember that is a spontaneous thing. And some are more spontaneous than others.
Yeah.
You understand? So you must know that this person I'm with, how does he treat or think about sex? But I personally, I think that sex is one of the most important things, and it must not be compromised. Yeah, if it means that that has to be, because honestly speaking, one of the things that keeps us focused is our physical engagement into each other. The reason why most of relationships, okay, this guy doesn't do sex much. He's not even a guy of sex. He's a guy of buying me cars, fueling my car and everything. This woman will, yes, receive all these beautiful things and go to and find a guy of sex. And honestly speaking, we have to understand that sex also, it's so seasonal to an extent whereby if I'm stressed by anything, obviously my sex will not be as good as when I'm free.
Yeah.
And then you'll know that most of guys who are more busy, sexually, they are not doing as well as guys. You know, if you want a nigga with good sex, get an empty-headed nigga.
Who's not working?
No stress, no pressure, no reports. But the only thing that he does, I mean, let's tell the truth. For a man to have an erection, it's a lot of concentration.
Yeah.
That thing, it has no button. It's the blood that is to flow there. And if your brain doesn't lead the blood there, your brain is leading everything to balancing books of your business, to preparing speech for one. So then eventually your sex will be affected. I think if the partners can understand that, you know what, we are dealing with when it comes to sex, we are dealing with a volatile situation. Why are you not giving me the best like you gave me last week? Because this week is not last week. You know, when women want sex, they'll always say, why last week you were better than this week? But not knowing that this week in fact is a different issue at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a lawyer by profession. I've got different cases I'm dealing with. I've got a case that threatens my life to say my profession can end. For I can't. I was expecting erection. Come on.
Well, I agree. It's very important, and I would say it depends. Again, it's an issue of values as well, but it's also a reality. As those are two issues that people fight about in thinking. But again, it's how you treat sexuality, because we live in a biased society, patriarchy. I'm going to bring that up. In patriarchy, where as a woman, I'm talking about my personal experience, is that as a woman, I've been cultured to act a certain way that my pleasure is substandard to yours. You get what I mean? So getting to know myself now goes back to now going back and knowing my sexuality, knowing myself as a sexual being, embracing myself and my sexuality as part of my life without shame. Because church shames women. You never hear about division. Never. Keep yourself, right? So give us so there's a lot. I'm talking about how we perceive it. Again, this is my personal experience. So when I'm saying know yourself again, because it's a very important thing, you think everything would be well, but you will be unsatisfied sexually, and you wouldn't even understand why, because you've been conditioned a certain way. Men learn their sexuality, most of them, from pornography when they grow up. I taught youth for a long time back. When we had those private sessions, you would find that most kids got 9 years already. They've learned sex from a pornographic setting. Do you get what I mean? Then they watch pornography, women swinging on chandeliers, doing monkey tricks. Where because so they're slutty, they what. So you see, there's a lot that you deal with. Then at 30 you are on honeymoon, stuff is not happening. Or we expected you'll be swinging the whole night, and when now your body's shut down, you don't know what you're doing, and now on top of that nanyaka ba murutile hore anyake mosadi o buiko wa kere mara pila ena mosadi sexually wa monyaka kere ka behavior sexually monyaka la wa morning go kai. So I'm just saying it's such an extensive subject that
so it needs to be
communicated because my most men ba rutile hore your satisfaction is the ultimate. Do you get what I mean? So you come and then I'm left behind. Do you get what I mean? Like I said, like in nature. You can no longer, but I'm not satisfied. Do you get what I mean? So I'm just saying, you always will have to communicate until you find a sexual synergy as well, and it will also go back to getting to know yourself as a sexual being. What do I want? What do I like? How do I prefer having this thing as well? Do you get what I mean? Do I like kinky? Do I want whatever? Do you get what I mean? It's that kind of thing. But there are people literally who can go for years without sex and they don't care.
Women.
Koni.
I think
yes. Next. Big ups. Chronic sex, deal breaking relationship.
It is an important relationship. So I'm not sure, but in your past experiences, honale some the ladies pillow talk. It happens after sex. So somehow it's a way for people to bond or whatever, in a way.
And ask those, tough questions.
Because now everything is settled. Your senses are relaxed. So sex is important in a relationship too.
Patience.
Yeah, sex it's very important, and the way I think we need to talk about it, because sex is a pleasure.
But then it becomes like that because some of the ladies try to.
If a man is leading, let me tell you. If it becomes so
when I talk much change.
Okay,
because if I
for years people have been asking that question. So I am saying that you will find a certain attraction to somebody. It could be their minds, could be their personality, could be their aura. It could be just the fact that do you get what I mean? And it's something charming about him that you feel like I could spend my entire life in this person's presence. Do you get what I mean? Because I have to wake up with him. My children, he's a lineage for my children. Do you get what I mean? So that's what I want to spend. But the important thing, and I think that's what he's saying, there is love. Moving like but the relationship is something totally different. And you have to treat them both exclusively before you can put them inclusive.
Which is very true. You can love a person and fail to have a meaningful relationship.
Which is happening.
Which is happening. And what people have to understand, you don't necessarily marry a person you love. You marry a person you can build with.
Thank you.
Okay.
No, it's not. I mean, honestly speaking, from another married man to another. It's not necessarily. No, it's getting hot in here.
Any bad experience?
Any bad experience? It was.
Cause you know why bad experience? I feel like they're sometimes necessary. They make you sit down and say, "Okay, Sharp, this is what happened from my side." You know, I don't want to blame the next person, even though maybe it might be them, you know, but from your side and say, okay, maybe in the next relationship that I'm going to engage myself in, I need to fix 1, 2, 3. Is there anything of that nature?
Since a man must lead. But a man must lead. You know, men have got many bad experiences with relationships.
They won't tell.
No, and we don't discuss these things.
Yeah.
Personally, I grew up from a family whereby papa lead. And that's what I am. That's why people everywhere call me leader. I'm a leader. If situation happens, I come out and I lead. I don't care where is it. You know, I got this lady, very beautiful girl. Maybe I meet it from Moretele. And I'm like, I know what, this girl, Mona, she's such a beautiful woman. Now you go all out. And then I finish my matric. What are you doing? Nothing. You take her, you pay, boom. She's doing a course, she's failing, no problem. Yeah, wafela ngro nomzama. Wafela mara umzami. Then you're like, okay, what's the problem? No, using buses from Hammanskraal to that is wrong. Okay, let me buy you a Yaris nyana. Yeah, sure. Here is your Yaris for this thing now is no longer for schooling, it's for partying. And you realize that the money you are giving for buying books and everything, there is not even a single book that is being bought. All this money is being used for friends. Understand? Yeah. The last degree of everything is when you are told that this is your child, only to be told when you are fighting or actually. Yeah. So what I will tell you is what did you learn from that? What I learned from all this is that a relationship must not be done from feelings. It must be done from a decision of agreeing. Because me and this person never agreed. I was offering and she was taking. Nothing wrong with her. When a person gives you money, take the money. When a person gives you a car, take the car. That's what I did. I brought things. I never sat down with her and said, look here, I'm developing you so that I can be able to marry a woman with her own career. For in case I die, you should be able to provide for the kids. I want you to be my woman. We never talked about that. So when I saw her and I started coming with all this decision, she never even told me that she wanted to go to school. I'm the one who convinced her to go to school. So would you say that built you to be what it is? It has taught me to know that if ever you want to build a relationship with a person, come clear and clean. Sorry, hand polite.
Maybe mine was not as painful. One thing I've learned is that sometimes we think our indicators of bad things are the obvious things. Do you get what I mean? Because there is subtle, on social media, not shading, man. Over gaslighting. Let me put it that way. There is subtle gaslighting that happens that you don't feel sometimes because it's not the obvious indicators. I get like I'm not married, indicators. So we watch TV, you see all these things that will be deal breakers, right? But there is something that could be so subtle that the other person is not even aware that they are doing. You realize later, Sarah, oh shabu. Because they're subtly gaslighting you. And when I'm saying gaslighting you, I'll give my personal experience was you're a businesswoman, right? And I have a personal vision for myself. And I'm very clear that that's who I am. I get changed. And then, but you say, no, I like you. We have an agreement. Or no, it's fine. You do that. You do yourself. Mare, everything I do, you have a subtle thing that you're saying that puts me down. Do you get what I mean? That puts me down. TV, no. There is always a
negative connotation that is around your vision.
And you always feeling you know, and then you start feeling low all the time, and you're never not sure how to be anymore around that person, because what you're gonna say might just not sound right enough, because you might be the modern woman, you might be the powerful woman, you might be the empowered woman. And you're like, but you're being gaslighted in your own relationship. And that's bad because it's not the obvious kind. And it's also not easy to catch, because when no sala we says so another way. Subliminal shots. Those are some of the things that for me personally were the experiences I've had. They were never terrible things, but they were always on the subtle face. You're being gaslighted and you're being reduced. So if you're here, the person's aim is to bring you here. You know, I'm in one particular relationship. And it's a problem for you. It was a problem. Problem. Gaslighting. Or rata chelete. Unali factory, unali trying rebuild. And I literally at some point even printed 2 copies of a bus. Yes, 799. And I was like, okay, I'll use Fly SA Fair. It's
less.
It's less.
But because it's up there, it's up there, then I can't rationalize. No, what's the problem? I can't rationalize a person I don't check out from there. You better be on the ground, even though it's expensive. Hey, I know. Hey, good tricky.
You get my point. So what I'm saying, it's not always the obvious. Sometimes it's literally how a person feels you lesser and lesser of yourself, and you feel bad. You think too highly of yourself. You just feel it.
And you know, adding on to what you're saying now, I'll just add one comment. We fail to see it because we love too much. Thank you.
What is loving too much? Is there such a thing as loving too much?
Yes. Drunk in love.
Now this question is very emotional to me because of I was in a relationship for 10 years, no? Almost 10 years. Yeah. Well, I decided to walk away when we were supposed to turn 10 years. Because I think the one thing that I did that was very wrong is to actually forget about myself. You know,
in the relationship.
Yeah, I'm focusing more on the person, whether she's happy, I'm providing for her and all of that. And at points, like he was saying, he was providing, like you know, everything just to make sure that you want to uplift and empower this person and all of that. And unfortunately, in return, we feel it's only slight. And we tell about people that are around you and around her as well. Like and which it's unfortunately it's happening to most of the guys that I know and stuff like that. You know, where they would do anything just to see another person happy and then they forget themselves. And I was only happy for 3 years, and the rest 7 years was horrible. It was horrible, and I couldn't understand why I failed to actually walk away. You know, and at the same time, which is something that actually helped me because that's where I actually met God, and that's where I started being spiritual. And you know, for me, it was quite easy for me. You know, when I left, I was smiling, and when I actually said to her, "This is where you and I end," she laughed. I said, "I know you'll come back."
Okay.
Serious.
Yeah, and I laughed and then I walked. I never looked back.
Yeah.
I went to church and you know somebody came along and somebody that you understand that communication. You know, understanding what I want, where I'm going, my goals, everything. My future plans and all of that. I know her future plans. I know what she likes and I know what she doesn't like and stuff. She knows I love myself enough. To give me time to myself as well. You know, once in a while, I'll go to my friend.
Yeah.
And my friends are her friends because of you can't have 10, you can't have 10 friends. You know it's we need to have friends that you can actually call and say, hey, then I know Harry can go and attend to that. You know, not. You know that's where you actually need to play around. You know, friends that you keep, they actually need to build you. You can keep friends that are gonna be toxic to your relationship. She can keep friends that are toxic to our relationship as well because nothing is gonna work.
True.
And we'll end up forgetting ourselves as well, trying to fix the relationship, and we end up getting hurt.
Damaging more.
You see,
Yeah.
and yeah.
No, I'm sure. I hope we're eating.
I get it.
No, we are happy people.
We
We are very happy.
But keep on checking this guy.
It's an honor for
But you know, when I'm listening to him and my story, I'm realizing one thing. Even his story, bad experiences in any relationship are self-created.
Exactly.
They are not from another person. They're from us. We allow them to happen to us. That lady did not bewitch her or hold a gun to her that do for me more. And why don't we make sure before you do for another more, or before you sacrifice for another person, or by you sell yourself away, you make sure that you don't do that. You sit down and you agree that, look here. You understand? Because sometimes, honestly speaking, we are good in mistreating ourselves.
That's true.
That's why these things are happening.
Yo, okay. I want to jump to the next question, but you wanna say something?
Yeah, I want to
Okay.
say something. Best experience.
Bad experience for you, because it seems like you have it still fresh.
Man.
Why do you call yourself?
It's few hours. It seems like that was few hours. Yesterday, something like that.
I should say this.
I know she will tell us. Relax. We are waiting.
I think it's when somebody like in that agreement moment, compromise knowing no, it's not something that you want. Okay, let me say this and this and this and this and this, and then okay, this, but then no, I will take yours, give a better way. But then as time goes by, so I think if it's something just say it, or so ska try go tsena or we still ngwana the feelings, the emotions and whatever.
Okay.
It's bad, it's losing self. Self is important. Like if you lose self, how are you going to get through everything? Mentally, if you lose yourself mentally and emotionally, you're lost. Because you're gonna go through life, but how na moral, like example we use it for radio. You wake up and then you don't feel the need for yourself. If you start not feeling, loving yourself, just because you're giving too much to another person, you already dead.
Sure. When is the right time then? Mafrika spoke about the contract. Sarah, talk to me about when is the right time to start to talk about issues of finance, issues of spirituality in the relationship. When do you start to open up about you being HIV positive? When do you start to open up about you being dyslexic? When do you start to open up about you being a mess that you are? From day one, or not? Is the right moment, or
I think I can't say from day one, but during the early stages of the relationship, that's where you have to disclose everything about your HIV status, your behavior around money, your behavior. Okay, fine. I understand. So that when I into this contract, I understand. I can't say you have to pen them down in one date or in 30 minutes. Exactly. I understand. Yeah. I get as the relationship unfolds, okay, fine. This is how I handle this. This is how I handle this. This is how I handle the so that one I accommodated. And then from there at decide.
Okay.
And if they want to go, and then if Onyaka stick around, then let them at their own will, and then at the understanding what's what.
Okay.
What did the unfortunate part? I like a point where it says men should lead. But now coming back to this one, unfortunately, we don't live together. It's like 1 hour for an hour or two and stuff like that. So, and then a certain picture or this is who I am.
You don't reflect the real person.
Yeah, exactly. And then the next thing we move in together, and now you wake up in the morning, you're a grumpy person. You start now understanding the real person that you are with right now. So, for me is I like I said, I decided to love myself enough, to actually know what I want. Anything that gratifies me, I put it out there, and then that's what she knew. And then she was doing her own thing, and I never interfered.
When was that? Was it when the relationship was still on the toddler stage, or
it was very much on the toddler stage. And the thing is that I personally can't put a time frame.
Okay.
Every time when you meet with the person, we adults. As Tabela don't to it's obvious. And then I want to be with you, and I see a future between the two of you, between the two of us. And every time I'm going to make sure, every time I'm going to learn. I learn something about you, and I tell you something about myself.
So that's important for you.
So that's very important. Every time, that's why I get it. Time frame. But every time I see you, I'm going to make sure you learn something from me, and all of that, and to show Motu all well. And they want what is best for you. They wanna start following some of the things. So I never invited them to church.
Okay.
One Sunday I'm going to church. Then the next thing is it's like, oh, okay, wow. And after church we started discussing, what was preached in the church, and she didn't understand some of the things. We went back to scriptures, and then I had to explain. I'm not only interested. Well, she's a mechanic. She's a qualified mechanic. I understand like opposite. Now I can't deal with the messy place. And mess.
Yeah.
I understand her. I clean after her, and I make sure everything. I need to have her back as much as she has my back. On certain this last one,
okay.
Like we were sitting, we were discussing. It was just a fun discussion. Have you noticed or something? Mara, you not aware. And I can know, man.
So she's learning.
She's learning me. That's how it's supposed to be. So that's why I say, now personally, I don't put a time frame.
Okay, is there a time frame, Harry, in Africa?
I don't think so, because of you can't know a person like 100%. There are some things that alone you do not help in a situation. Like it's a new situation for Lona, and then your reaction in the way as I expect is because it's something new, and then it's not what you disclosed when the relationship started. You see, so you can you just have to leave a space for learning, and understanding the person.
Nice.
So when the relationship starts, you'll say all the nice things anyway. But the people, we don't want to say the dark side. You see, maybe we say. I tend to be violent and then things. But it's important to say. You say. So then she can know, hey, you need help. Before that happens to me, you have to seek help first. Anger issues. Why do you have anger issues? No, because you see. So, but most people, you cannot say that. No. Then
no, but what is important, like, I I think there are some things that must be said from the onset. Like there must be said from the onset. The Hegel onset, I don't mean immediately when you're like, hi, I'm HIV positive. Hi, you know. But no, that would be weird. But I mean, as soon as a person shows interest and you are able to establish what do they want from you. Because you can't, I mean, I can't be coming to tell you many things if I don't know what you want from me. If I know that you want a relationship with me, what kind of relationship do you want? You know, it's unfortunate that people are not honest, but I wish people to be honest so that they can be a progress. No, not, I just like you, I wish we can be friends. Oh, we can be friends. Oh, cool. You know, just friends. Or no, we are friends. Okay, cool. So if we are friends, we have the discussion at this level. But if you want more than friendship, a relationship, what kind of a relationship? A commitment, or just the thing you have someone in your life. We're gonna talk every day. Then let's talk about everything. And also remember that communication is driven by questions. Also, what am I asking? What are we talking about? Because most of the time we have very misguided discussions in relationship. You find we are talking about a Maserati. How will it contribute necessarily to me and you knowing each other? Because we have to lead a conversation that will lead us to that point whereby we are able to talk about all these things that matters most. It's not wrong to ask a person to say, okay, spiritually, what matters most to you? What is your spiritual center? I believe in Jesus Christ who died for me on the cross. No, this. A person must know from the onset, what's your financial goal? What's your financial goal? No, I just love surviving. As long as now I want to be a millionaire.
My story. I'm realizing one thing. Even her story. Bad experiences in any relationship are self-created. They are not from another person. They are from us. We allow them to happen to us. That lady did not bewitch her or hold a gun to her head that do for me more. And why don't we make sure before you do for another more, or before you sacrifice for another person, or by you sell yourself away, you make sure that you don't do that. You sit down and you agree that, look here, you understand? Because sometimes, honestly speaking, we are good in mistreating ourselves.
That's true.
That's why these things are there.